Good morning, guys, and welcome back here. We're going to start chapter 2. This page is posted, so you can print a copy if you do have access to a printer. If you don't have access to a printer, all of this needs to get copied down. It'll just take you, an extra 5 minutes or so. So we'll fly through this real quick because it is review. So if some of this stuff doesn't make sense, that's a red flag of something you probably didn't learn in middle school. You might need to go back and watch some Khan Academy videos or do some extra supplementing on your own or reach out to me. So whenever we write slope, slope is written as a ratio of the vertical change, which you guys would know as the rise, compared to the horizontal change, which you guys would know as the run. And that's between any 2 points on a line. Okay, this remains constant, so it's the same for any 2 points on the same line. And then we always write this slope as a fraction in simplest form, or simplest terms. So you would not write 6/4. You would write the simplest form of 3/2. Right? And our variable that we use for slope is m. There are 4 types of slopes that you're going to encounter. One that goes positive. Positive goes up and to the right. Then the opposite of up and right is down and also to the right. That is when it is negative. That one goes like this, goes down and to the right. We also have 2 other special case ones. If it goes straight across, as straight as I can write that, that is a slope of 0. And you can't go up and down, because in that case you end up dividing by 0, which we can't do. So that one is undefined. Okay, whenever we go to calculate slope, we're going to use the following formula. So I'm just going to do one of each, and then you'll practice that today on your homework. So what we always use is rise over run. You will also see rise over run being written as the change, which we write as a triangle, the delta sign, change in y over the change in x. Those are the same things. And actually, when we get to the next page, there's one more way that I'll show you to do it. So we always do our y's first. So if you notice, if you look in really close, they've already picked some dots for you. And you always got to pick dots whenever possible, go through a whole number. So in this case, our rise, which is our change in y. What happens from here to here? Okay, we go up 1, 2, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go up 7, and we go over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is one of those ones that if we went back up here and looked at our definitions, this is a positive slope. You don't have to write that every time. I'm just writing this just for extra practice for you. Okay, this one here, since we're going, when we go down, we go to the right instead of up and to the right. The fact that we're going down, this one becomes negative. Okay, and again, we always do our rise first, but in this case, we are not rising. It has us starting at this dot here. We're going down 1, 2, 3. Whenever you go down, Your y numbers are, you're going towards the negatives. Okay, so our y is negative. So we went down 3. Then we come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We go down 9. This is one of those ones that you would have to simplify because 3 does go into 9. And since 3 goes into 9, you can divide them both by 3. And you get negative 1/3. Okay, this one here, you cannot rise up because it is just a straight line going across. And so up in your directions, I wrote that when they go straight across like this, it's going to be 0. Why is it 0? Well, the dots they have are here and here. How much did I rise up? I didn't rise up at all. So I got 0 on top. How many spots did I run? Well, this says it's going 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 0 divided by 4 equals 0. So that slope does exist. It's just 0, so it's not going to have ones like these as our answer, but it still exists. The slope exists on that one. It exists as 0. But down here on this one, what is my rise? So if I started here, I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 5 we went down. Okay, so we go down 5. But then how much did we run? How much did we change to the right? Well, we didn't because they're in the same spot. So we moved 0 spots, and you can't divide by 0. Since you can't divide by 0, that's why this one becomes undefined. Okay, hopefully you remember these from middle school. We always do our y first, then our x, rise over run. Okay, and now our slope formula. Now we get into a specific thing here. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So whenever I do these types of problems, I always label. Always. It just helps me not make a mistake. So I label these x1, y1, x2, y2. This is something you should have done in middle school again. So in our notes it says slope formula is used between any 2 points. So that's what we did up here. It would be taking these points and labeling them. This one would be x1, y1, x2, y2, and then putting it into a formula. And you can put them in either order. Doesn't matter which one's first because the negatives will cancel out in one and then not in the other. And then we just put it into our formula. I'm going to put that formula back up there. y2 minus y1. So what is my y2 number? My y2 number is 3. What is my y1 number? So it's minus 1 because I have a subtraction sign up here in my formula. And then I have x2 minus x1. So I have 4 minus 1. So I have 2 over 3 when I simplify. My next one gets a little trickier. The more negatives, the harder it is. But again, I always order them. Okay, as you can see, I paused the video here for a second and went through and labeled all these. And all I did is I always took the first point and I did x1, y1, then x2, y2. I did that on the rest of these. You can go through it and do that. It's a really good habit to get into, and if you can see your formula, it helps. So y2 minus y1, so I write this down, negative 2 minus 4 over my x2 is 10 minus, and what happens here is that this is actually going to become a negative because it's minus a negative 2. So I end up at negative 6 over 10 plus 4 is 14. that 10 plus 2, sorry. 10 plus 2, I don't know where I got the 4 from. Oh, maybe from up there. Fix that real quick. Blink. 10 plus 2 is 12. And now they're both even. So I could divide by 2 if I wanted, or I can realize that 6 goes into 12, and I can reduce that to -1/2. The other thing that we should be adding in here is that this is our m. So whether you write it in front or at the end, we are calculating our slope. So down here, m equals, and I got to pick up the pace here because I only got a couple minutes of video space left for the day. So -5 minus 5, that's y2 minus y1, and I have -8. Again, two negatives equal a positive, so I have -8 minus -4. So I am showing my work just like you need to do on your assignment today. -5 minus 5 is -10, and -8 plus 4 becomes -4. So I have two negatives here. They're going to cancel, and I simplify to 5 halves. Four minus 0 on top, y2 minus y1. So we're getting pretty repetitive here. -2 minus 10. So notice how these were kind of similar. Just kind of change the numbers around. -2 minus 10 is -12. Simplifies to -1/3. And we end with two special cases, I believe. y2 minus y1. So I have 9 minus 9 on top. That's going to be easy. And 3 minus 5 on bottom. So I have 0 divided by -2. That's just 0. So I have a 0 slope. Over here, the last one, 5 minus 8 on top, -7 minus -7. So that becomes two negatives equaling a positive. So I have -3 here. And I am dividing by 0 because I have -7 plus 7. Can't divide by 0. So this is one of those ones that's undefined. Okay, in your classwork today, I have your assignment posted. And you will do 1 through 12, so you don't need to do 13, 14, and 15 yet. So if you watch this video, you'll know that. 1 through 12, need to show work on the last ones, which would be the 7 through 12, just like I did in the video. Upload that by Monday night with a copy of these notes.